Hi, I'm Jackie from Multnomah County Library School Corps with Novelties 2022. And in this video, I'm going to cover books about haters, books about bullies. If you'd like to find the books and websites that I mentioned in the presentation, the links are included in the description below. Jennifer Chan is Not Alone by Tay Keller, grades 5 through 7. Even though Jennifer Chan hasn't started yet at Gibbons Academy, lots of rumors are already circulating about her. No one ever moves to their little town, but Mallory has already heard that Jennifer Chan hurt someone in her old school and that she's living under a secret identity. Since Jennifer has moved in to the empty house across the street from Mallory, Mallory is the first one to meet her. Mallory's glad to have another Asian American girl at school, and she quickly figures out that the rumors about Jennifer aren't true. She can also see that Jennifer Chan is going to have trouble at Gibbons Academy. Jennifer's not really interested in fitting in and following all the hidden rules of middle school. Instead, she can't stop talking about UFOs, aliens, and sending messages to outer space. She even has 7 journals full of her research. Mallory knows all this will make Jennifer a target for bullies at school, and she's right. 2 of Jennifer's worst bullies are Mallory's own friends, Reagan and Tess. Then, Jennifer goes missing. All the adults say she ran away, but Mallory can't help but wonder, did Jennifer leave because of the bullying, or did she actually succeed in making contact with aliens from outer space? So some discussion topics for this book. Bystanders. What is Mallory's role in the bullying that Jennifer experiences? Why does she think she cannot stand up to the bullies? Jennifer and the bullies. Mallory and her friends notice that sometimes Jennifer is able to avoid being bullied. Why is that? What does she do in those circumstances? Identity. When talking about her Korean identity, Mallory says, "It matters what I think, but what other people think matters even more." What would you tell Mallory if she said this to you? And finally, extraterrestrials. Do you believe? Why or why not? I've also linked to 3 related websites. First Chapter Friday has a video of the author, Tay Keller, reading aloud the first chapter of the book. There's also an educator's guide from the publisher with discussion questions and activities. And I also linked to a video called Are Aliens Real? It's an interview with an astrophysicist about why humans haven't made contact with extraterrestrial life forms. Ahmed Aziz's Epic Year by Nina Hamza, grades 4 through 6. When Ahmed Aziz says he's having an epic year, he means an epically bad year. When his dad got sick, their family had to move from Hawaii to Minnesota so his dad could get the special medical treatment he needed. Ahmed went from warm sunshine to cold, snowy weather with no beach in sight. At his new school, he's the only brown-skinned kid in a sea of white faces. And his language arts teacher is requiring them to read 3 books over the summer and discuss them. Ahmed hates reading, and he can tell it's going to be a rough year. Worst of all is his neighbor Jack, who starts bullying Ahmed the very first time he meets him. Jack is eating a bag of Doritos, and when he finishes the last chip, he turns the bag upside down and dumps all the crumbs on Ahmed's shoes. He trips him when he's getting on the school bus, slams him into the lockers in the hallway, and even posts an embarrassing picture of Ahmed on the school's social media site. As the school year passes by, Ahmed feels like things are improving, everything except the situation with Jack. He thinks up the perfect plan to get back at Jack for everything he's done, but if Ahmed goes through with it, does that mean he's a bully too? The Magical Imperfect by Chris Barron, grades 4 through 7. When his mom had to be hospitalized, Aton almost completely stopped speaking. His family and his doctors encourage him to speak again, but most of the time it's just too much. Soon, Aton's friends stop asking him to hang out or play baseball. Instead, after school, he spends time at his grandfather's jewelry shop and runs errands for the other shopkeepers. One afternoon, Mrs. Lee asked him to deliver a package to a home in the forest. Climbing up on the porch, he hears singing inside, but when he knocks on the door, at first no one answers. Finally, the door opens just a crack, and a girl's voice tells him to leave the package on the porch. Aton wonders who she is. Later at school, he hears the other kids talking about her. They call her the creature, and they say that she has bumps and scales on her skin and might be contagious. After Mrs. Lee sends him with another delivery, Aton finally gets to meet the girl, whose name is Malia, and he learns a few things. 1, she has a fantastic voice. 2, her medical condition is called eczema, and it's not contagious. 3, she was bullied so badly by the other kids at school that she decided to be homeschooled. 4, Aton feels so comfortable with Malia that he can speak when she's around. Malia is so helpful that Aton wants to do something for her in return. His grandfather has a special kind of clay that he says can heal people. Would it help Malia? And would his grandfather let him use it? And this is a book that's written in verse, as you can see in this example. The Many Meanings of Milan by Andrea Wang, grades 4 through 7. Milan grew up in Boston's Chinatown, where her Taiwanese-American family owned a bakery called the Golden Phoenix. But after her grandmother's death, her father and his siblings were constantly arguing, so they sold the bakery, and Milan, her parents, and her grandfather moved to a small town in rural Ohio. Milan quickly realizes this place is very different from Boston. There are no other Asian students at her school, and the principal insists that everyone call her Melanie because he thinks it will be easier for the English speakers. One of the students, Liam, insists that she can't be from Boston, and he creates a hateful nickname for her. Milan is learning about the meanings of her name in Chinese. Her parents told her part of it means orchid, but she also learns that the lawn part of her name can have other meanings, like basket. She identifies with that one because she feels like she's carrying the hopes and dreams of her family. Another meaning is blue. Milan likes that one. She describes it as how she feels when she's outside and can be her true self. But lately, Milan has mostly been feeling like another one of the meanings of her name, mist. Mist goes unnoticed, is able to fit anywhere, and can't be hurt. That's how she acts at school. Milan mostly keeps these parts of her personality separate until an unjust event at school requires her to bring them all together. Those Kids from Fawn Creek by Erin and Trotta Kelly, grades 4 through 7. Fawn Creek is such a quiet town that the residents often call it Yawn Creek. There are only 12 kids in the entire 7th grade. There used to be 13 until Rennie Dean moved away last year. They've all known each other since kindergarten and divided themselves into cliques years ago. Daylin, Bailey, and Hallie all go to the same church and are known as the God Squad. Max, Daniel, and Michael are the athletes, and Janie, Abby, Barnett, and Lehigh are the Fawn Creek royalty because their families own most of the businesses in town. Then there are Dorothy and Grayson. They don't really fit into any of the other groups. You can imagine everyone's excitement when a new student arrives. Her name is Orchid Mason, and she tells them stories about the places she's lived before, like Paris and New York, places no one in Fawn Creek has ever been. Orchid is friendly to everyone and mostly ignores the Fawn Creek cliques. Everyone likes her too, and that makes one of the students in particular feel angry that her own popularity might be threatened. What does she have planned for Orchid? Down below the video, you'll find a link to the full list of titles from this year's Novelties videos, a link where you can watch our other School Corps presentations, and a link to book discussion tips from Multnomah County Library. Finally, you can also find out more about School Corps by following the link below. Thanks for watching.